Hey, what's up, gang? Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. I hope that everyone's doing good out there. Today on the channel, I'm really excited to bring you the mini comic review from the brand new wave of MOTU Origins Deluxe figures that features the Buzzsaw Hordak and Mosquitor. Now, this one is called HORDE Plague. Now, before I get into it, I just want to send out a special note of thank you to Joseph of Toy Pulse, who was kind enough to send me the scans of this mini comic in order for me to get the review together. Joseph's Toy Pulse channel was the very first channel on YouTube to put out the video review for the brand new MOTU Origins Deluxe Buzzsaw Hordak figure. Now, after you're done with this video, I want you guys to head on over to Toy Pulse and check out the videos there. I checked out his review of Buzzsaw Hordak. I loved it. It was a whole lot of fun. Okay, you guys are going to enjoy it too. I'm also putting a link to that video in the description box below, so do make sure you head on over to Toy Pulse and check it out. Now, the last wave of MOTU Origins Deluxe figures had 4 in them, and that was the Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor, Ram Man and Clamchamp. Now, up to this point, there's been no sign at all of those Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor figures. Okay, no sign of them at all in Malaysia. I don't know what the hell is the restriction that is preventing those figures from making it over here, but we do have an excess amount apparently on shelves for Ram Man and Clamchamp. Okay, those guys are like everywhere, but not the He-Man and Skeletor. Okay, it seems that we're already fast forwarding to the next wave here, and it features Buzzsaw Hordak and Mosquitor. Now, Mosquitor did make an appearance in the recent interview that Pixel Dan did with Mattel, where the figure was brought out and we saw it on screen. And I gotta tell you that, it was a freaking exciting moment to see the Mosquitor figure and all the accessories that is coming with and all the functions that it has. Mosquitor is one of those figures from the vintage line that I never owned, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people around the world probably don't have him too. Okay, so this is an incredible opportunity for us to finally have a vintage style figure of Mosquitor in our collection. Mosquitor takes center stage on the front cover of this all-new mini comic that we're reviewing today, and it's great to see a full-bodied shot of him just standing there, and you know that he's basically the star, the focus of this entire story, and the way that he's just lurking there in this cave-like structure, lurking as a group of unwitting masters attempt to step into his lair. Now, this MOTU mini comic actually kicks off with one of the best opening sequences I've seen in a MOTU Origins mini comic to date. I love the way that this story starts off because it's seeped with such mystery and terror. It says here, a mysterious plague has swept across Eternia. Many live in fear, unwilling to leave their homes. Even more have fallen ill. The streets, once bustling with commerce and joy, are now a silent wasteland. Nobody has any answers. Now, I just absolutely love how everything here in this opening panel looks so grim and foreboding. Alright, and the thing is that Eternia is depicted here as a street full of very rundown looking shacks, okay? Far from the images of the bustling high technology metropolis that we may be used to in some other depictions, but here it just looks like it's just one of those settings from a deserted town that you find in like a horror movie, and that's the tone that we're going for here, and I frankly loved it. Okay, I loved how this thing opened up, and probably it's because they're using a seemingly very mysterious, terrifying creature as Mosquitor, and therefore this setup was actually necessary. Now, we do see a silhouette of a figure that appears to be Mosquitor, alright, and I like how they don't blatantly just spell it out for you that Mosquitor is on the loose. Okay, they just show you a silhouette and giving you the sense that something is happening there. Alright, something is causing people to just live in terror and be stricken with disease. So He-Man and the Masters of the Universe are dispatched to find out the source of all this horror, and it says here that they're tracking an energy signature from the plague. Alright, this is a bit interesting because I didn't know that a plague would actually leave sort of like a energy signature of some kind. If Mosquitor knew that was happening, probably needed to find a way to mask it somehow. I don't know. But then we get to this point in the story where it's already immediately revealed that the masters know who's behind the whole thing. Okay, they come across the cave, and they see Mosquitor actually just standing there. All right, they're able to track him and find him just standing there in the cave, and I was pretty disappointed with this part of the story. The reason for that was because I thought that this story was being built up as an origin story for Mosquitor. It's like, the first time that anybody in Eternia met him, okay? But it seems here that He-Man and friends already know who he is, okay? And that also kind of makes me wonder if his calling card is to actually drain the life force out of people, and you know him because of that, wouldn't these symptoms that are affecting the city and the people, these symptoms will probably be recognizable to you, right? I mean, as it is, they chance upon him in the cave there, and they appear surprised that he's behind the whole thing. Okay, yeah, so this was a bit disappointing, okay? I wanted to see like a sequence where, Mosquito turns up for the first time, and then they were like, what in the hell is that? Okay, who is that? Okay, and then he just goes like, Masters, meet Mosquitor. Something like that, just something like that. Now, inside the cave, we find Hordak in some kind of a recuperating chamber, kind of like the one that Luke Skywalker was in Empire Strikes Back. So it turns out that Hordak's presumably been weakened after some battle, and Mosquito's been feeding him with all the energy that he's been draining from the people of Eternia. That's right. Mosquito's basically kind of like the butler, serving daily meals to Hordak. The masters then turn up on the scene, interrupting Hordak's dinner time. But Mosquito appears to have sensed them coming, because he springs up from the dark and bites Man-at-Arms, causing Man-at-Arms to just yell out, yeah! And apparently a single bite from Mosquito is powerful enough to make a person let out such a shrill shriek. Yeah! And then the commotion causes Hordak to just wake up, and he seems to burst through his entire recuperating chamber. I guess he won't be needing it anymore, right? He just bursts out and he says here, "Who disturbs my feast?" And then Teela springs into action, taking the fight to Hordak. But we see a scene here of Hordak's Buzzsaw gimmick in action. His chest appears to just open, and this Buzzsaw blade just shoots out, shoots out and knocks Teela's staff clear of her hand, alright, just knocks it out of her hand. Now, I love it when the comic actually shows you the action feature of the toy that you just bought. It actually shows you the thing in action. That's just fantastic, okay? I mean, because you got a tie-in story here. Sometimes tie-in stories don't even make use of the characters in a proper way, alright? But here, you get to see Buzzsaw Hordak utilizing his Buzzsaw attack action. And if you just bought the toy, especially if you're a kid, it's freaking fantastic, man. Hey, it's my toy that's doing that. He-Man, of course, steps in to save the day. But, this scene here is great as well, where Hordak gets the better of him. And actually, we see a show of pure force and might as Hordak lifts He-Man off the ground by holding him by his neck and just lifts him off the ground. Okay, and I thought this was great because, we seldom actually see He-Man in a situation where he's actually seemingly defeated. Okay, it seems really hard to take this guy down. Okay, and in most of the other mini comics that we got, we've never actually seen him actually being taken down by anything stronger than him. Okay, but here Hordak is really showing his might here. Okay, and I just like this brief scene here where He-Man's lifted off the ground. Okay, clear off the ground. And Hordak says here, "Your life force is mine." With Mosquito waiting in the wings, presumably to suck He-Man's life force and then feed it straight to Hordak. Anyway, we're down to the last page of the mini comic, and you know that no matter how intense things get, things are still gonna get wrapped up pretty neat and tidy. Now, He-Man grabs onto Mosquito's ridiculously long nostril, just grabs onto him like a rag doll and shoves him straight into Hordak's chest, causing him to drain out all the energy that he had given to his master, drain it out and get it back into his system, and then He-Man straight up punches him out. Okay, straight up punches Mosquito out, And this in turn causes a chain reaction where all the energy that he has sucked back out from Hordak releases back into the atmosphere and seemingly releases itself back out into the entire population. All right, everybody that was infected by Mosquitor's bite has now been cured. All right, the plague has dissipated, and this is a pretty convenient way to end things, I gotta say. Now, Mosquito must have been at this for a couple of days now, right? I mean, holding the entire city in a grip of terror, sucking the life force out of the population, and, feeding it back into Hordak for a period of time, I would assume. And a lot of that energy must have been used up, right? I mean, Hordak was obviously getting stronger in that chamber, strong enough to break free of it, smash through and, attack the masters with such power at his disposal. So, a lot of that energy must have been used up. Okay, so for things to work out so conveniently where everybody was seemingly healed, it's just a little bit too convenient, but what are you gonna do about it? All right, okay, they got to wrap this thing up, okay, and that's what they've done. Now, I have commented before in the past about the MOTU mini-comics that come with the Origins figures. They suffer from a proper sense of storytelling because of the limited page count. They're only working with 6 pages every issue compared to the classic mini-comics, which had something like 14 to 16 pages. Those felt like real comic books. But this one feels more like the stories so far have been remarkably restrained. They always seem to have a really good beginning, and then they fizzle out somewhere towards the end because they seem to be running out of pages to tell a story. But I will say that the HORDE Plague is one of the better mini-comics that we've gotten to date. All right, it has a really, really great opening sequence. I love the opening. The storyline seems to move at a pretty good pace. Okay, it doesn't seem too rushed, and all the characters were basically given a pretty good chance to shine in the spotlight, and we got to see the new characters like the Buzzsaw, Hordak, and Mosquito display their abilities. If you wanted to see them in action, that's what you got. All right. So overall, I'd say that the HORDE Plague is definitely a recommend. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. My thanks again to Joseph over at Toy Pulse for supplying me with the scans to get this video review done. I do hope that you guys will head over to Toy Pulse after this and support the channel with a subscription. Well, I guess that's about the end of the video. All that's left is for us to just get our hands on these brand new action figures. Okay, I do hope that Buzzsaw, Hordak, and Mosquito make it down to Malaysia at some point. I know that Buzzsaw Hordak's out there, and most of you, or some of you have your hands on him already, but nobody's seen Mosquito yet. Okay, but he's definitely on his way, and I hope that everybody has a chance to get him for our collection. So guys, thanks again for following me, and I'll catch all of you again soon with more content. Take care.